Wonderful. Okay, so we'll have another minute maybe, but if you don't have a tea, if you're not settled, Bindo has graciously pinned the Karikas in the PDF. Open the PDF. If you have your copy of Mandukya, get it ready. If you don't have your tea, get settled. We'll be working we're chapter 2 today, working from the Karika sloka number 16. And I'll just give it another minute maybe.
ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः प्रज्ञां शुप्रदानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् सविष्टान् पुनरभिधिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपितमिदुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नो मायासङ्ख्यं तुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विदिजविषयान् प्रास्यभोगान् स्तविष्टान् पश्चाश्चान्यान् स्वमिति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्म पुनरभिशनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगण पातो नौ न तुरीयः उपनिषत् मंत्र ओमित्येतदक्षरमिदं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भविष्यतीति सर्वमोकार एव यच्चान्यत् त्रिकालातीतं तदप्येवमोङ्कार एव सर्वं ह्येतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पात् जागरितस्थानो बहिःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्क एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानर प्रथमः पादः स्वप्नस्थानो अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्क एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसो द्वितीयः पादः यत्र स्वप्नो न कञ्चन कामं कामयते न कञ्चन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत् सुषुप्तम् सुषुप्तस्थान एकीभूत प्रज्ञानगण एवमानन्दमयः हि आनन्दभुक् प्राज्ञस्तृतीयपादः एष सर्वेश्वर एष सर्वज्ञ एष अन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवप्ययो हि भूतानाम् नान्तप्रज्ञं न बहिःप्रज्ञं नो वेदप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृश्यम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेशम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारम् प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा सविज्ञेयः सोऽयमात्मा अध्यक्षरम् ओङ्कारम् अधिमात्रम् पादा मात्रा मात्राश्च पादा अकार उकार मकार इति जागरितस्थानो वैश्वानरो अकार प्रथममात्रा आप्तेरादिमत्वाद्वाद् आप्नोति ह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद स्वप्नस्थानत् तैजस उकार द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षाद् उभयत्वाद् उत्कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिम् समानश्च भवति न अस्य ब्रह्मकुले भवति य एवं वेद सुषुप्तस्थान प्राज्ञ मकार तृतीया मात्रा मितेर्वा मिनोति ह वै idam sarvam apītischa bhavati ya evam veda amasta chaturtha avyavaharya prapanchopashama shiva advaito eva onkara atmaiva samvishati atmana atmanam ya evam veda. So these are the Upanishad mantras and the Shanti mantra before the Upanishad, which we have covered. Having completed the Agama Prakarana, which is based on the Upanishad mantra and its explanation, for those who have not been able to directly grasp the meaning of the direct Upanishad mantra and the explanation, Acharya Gaudapada has further created 3 more prakaranas or chapters, but they have a formality of which is based on the famous saying Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. That is, the truth is Brahma, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. This Jagat or this field of experiences is Mithya. Mithya means unreal. Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. There is absolutely no difference between the Jiva and Brahma, the individual and the absolute. So this statement is converted into 3 prakaranas or 3 chapters. The first chapter was Brahma Satyam. That is the truth was expounded in the first chapter. In the second chapter, which we are dealing now, we are into the 16th sloka, Karika, is about Jagad Mithya. How can we say that the world of experiences are unreal is expounded in this particular chapter. And in the next chapter, which is the Advaita Prakaranam, as the name suggests, Advaita means there is no non-dual, is the Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. There is absolutely no difference between the Jiva and Brahma or the individual and the absolute. And there is a 4th chapter as an addendum which had been added bit later, looks like, is giving examples and refutations by the different philosophical schools which were prevalent during those days. So in the second chapter, where this is Jagan Mithya, the unreality of the world of experiences is being established, we saw that how the process has been happening. Now, from the 19 to 28 Karikas, Gaudapada is leaving no mercy at all. He wants all of us to empty our baggage, all the notions and ideations which we are having, developing, and depending upon the various philosophies we have heard or we have formulated in our mind, need to be expunged from our ideas before we come to the Advaita Prakaranam, where the unity of the individual and the absolute is being established. It is mandatory that we empty our pet ideas and imaginations about what we thought as a reality or what is the experiences, etc. So he is going to take us from that, to that state where we have to have no idea at all about what is the reality, because it is beyond the ideations and beyond the nomenclatures which anybody can put or define it with. So it is mandatory for a teacher like Gaudapada that he rebuts or throws out all the pet ideas which are there prevalent during those days, which are not much different from today's world of experiences for us also. So even though the words may be used will be pertaining to those period, but on a comparison, you will find even today we are also no different from those ideas what we have been harboring in our own mind. But before going to that, the standard example of the rope and snake is expounded to make us understand how we can do that, removal of our pet ideas. So removing of the pet ideas can be done only if we know a process through which we can do that. That is being expounded in the preceding Karikas 16, 17, and 18. So let us look into these Karikas 16, 17, 18, and we will run through 19 to 28 because basically they are all refuting different pet ideas prevalent then and now. So it's important that we should know these things and to understand that the 16th Karika says, Jivam kalpayate purvam tado bhavan prutak vidan, bahyan adhyatmikancha evat eda avidya tada smriti. Purvam jivam kalpayate. Purvam means before. Jivam means the individual is imagined or projected. Now, who is projecting and all, we'll come to that later. The individual is projected first. And then, yada vidya tada smriti. Based on what the individual picks up during his lifetime, and that becomes his smriti or his data background, data backup, or the base reference point with which he is referring to his experiences. Now, if we look at our own experiences, all the experiences which we are doing in our day-to-day moment has almost 80 to 90 or even 95% referential inferences which we bring from our past experiences or past knowledge, which is called the smriti or memory. So, today if I am having an ice cream, I will immediately, from the look of it, the name and the form, it is called ice cream, is from my memory. The taste and the flavor, even if it is fresh for me, I will be comparing it with my past experience, saying whether it is a vanilla or a chocolate or etc. like that. So all the experiences, this is only for us the ice cream is concerned, but any experience if we take it, as we have picked up from our past, we start naming and coloring our present experiences. Sa bahyan adhyatmikan pratak vidan bhavan kalpayate. This individual who has now accumulated this memory bank divides his experiences as external and internal, where there is absolutely no necessity for him to divide it into as external and internal because of his memory, where the memory is he considers to be internal and or as an internal subtle experience, whereas what is experienced outside through the sense organs immediate perception, we put it as an external experience. And these attributes also, internal and external, is also a projection by the individual based on his thing. So even though today we are going and experiencing for example, any event or a object we are experiencing in the world, the object is never understood in its pristine, good, its own original nature. Because that particular object is fresh and we are experiencing it fresh and then and there now. But what we normally do is we bring from our memory similarities or conditions and adjectives and all those things, and we prepare a what you call attribute onto the object from our memory, and mixes us up with our present experience, and we never get to know the purity of experience of the present. We never live in the present. Our living in the present, we may think that we are living in the present. But if we scrutinize it and analyze it threadbare, we will find that we are always falling back upon our memories too, or the impressions and the qualities which we have acquired from our past to paint even the present experience without even taking an effort to enjoy the present being 100% in present. So this attitude of present projecting and coloring the present experience from our past is sort of a projection. We need not have to do that, but our tendency is to do that. Now, this exactly is what happens in the next Karika when Gaudapada is using that Anishchida yada rajju andakare vikalpita sarpadaradir bhavai tat tattatmaka vikalpita. I told you that what happens in the present experience. Now imagine we are having a twilight situation and we are seeing a snake like an object on the floor. Yadha andakare anishchida rajju. Just as in the twilight, an unclear rope being understood as either sarpa dharabihi bhavai, like either a snake or a stream of water or a stick or a crack on the floor. We can imagine anything. It depends upon what we are bringing it from our memory. But the reality which is on the floor is a rope. And in the conditions under which we are seeing it, we bring in from our memory either it as a snake or a water stream or a crack on the floor or a stick lying on the floor. Anything we can project on it. Tadvat Atma Vikalpita. Same way, the self projects the present experiences from the past bundle of our memory bank. So the experiences which we are going through today are not seen in its own purity or pristine condition, the reality of it, but we are superimposing upon that what is thought to be our likes and dislikes, or what we feel that this is how it is. So we do not know the reality. Not only that we do not know the reality, we also superimpose upon that based on our earlier data of information which we are carrying it. So this is the reason what is being used, that Nishchitayam Yadam Rajjvam Vigalpo Vinarvartate Rajjurevati Cha Advaitam Tadvad Atma Vinishchaya. Just as when the knowledge of the substratum of the rope is known, all the superimposition which on that it has happened either as a snake or a rope or a stream of water or a crack on the floor or a stick, whatever may be the projection. Yatha rajjvam nischayam, the moment the reality of the rope is known, the moment the reality of the substratum is known, the real moment when we know the reality of what is the reality, vikalpaha vinivartate. All projections which we bring it from our mind or our imagination or our expectations and our desires, all those gets removed. Rajju iva iti advaitam siddhyati. The rope or the substratum of the superimposition of snake, etc., is nothing but rope is obtained, is siddhyati, advaitam, and there is nothing dual. There was no snake separate from the rope. Before, now, and after, all the three states of experiences, past, present, and future, the reality was only rope. It is the rope, it was the rope, it will be the rope. But in between, we are projecting the snake on it or a crack on the floor, etc. on the thing. Tadvat, like that, when we know the reality of our own reality, then all the misconceptions which we have vanishes. So in the 16th sloka, when we started, Jivam Kalpayade Purvam is the starting word, and here in the last word is Tadvat Atmavinishaya. So the Kalpana or the imagination, the individual as an existential reality is a projection. Yada Jivam Kalpayade Purvam. The beginning, the individuality is assumed. And therefore, individuality and his world of experiences and his shared experiences with other individuals also is creation only. And all those experiences other than himself is because the first place, the first projection itself was a wrong one. Like on the rope, if you project first itself as a snake, then all the things which we do on the snake is going to happen. We'll get scared of the snake. We may bring a stick to beat the snake to death, or we may do so many things. Or even after the snake is gone, that aftermath of the imagined snake, if it had been a real snake, what would have happened to me? All sorts of things are based on imaginations after. But the first place itself, whether it was a rope, is if somebody has known that it is rope, for him the rope is always the rope. There is no snake or any other thing which he can project on that. Same way, Jivam Kalpayade Purvam in the 16th mantra, the 16th Karika, has to be understood as Tadvat Atma Vinishchayaha, Advaitam Siddhyati. This imagination that I am an individual is a projection. When it is understood only, the rest of the things will fall in place. Until and unless all the experiences and all stories and developments and experiences, space, time, causation, Sajagrat, Sopna, Sushupti, each experiences, all of them are superimposed upon Jivam Kalpayade Purva. First, we thought that we are a limited individual. That's why Ramana Maharshi is asking us to find out who you are. The whole problem started from that point. So unless we are able to understand and identify, give that analysis to that, we will never know the reality of the substratum on which everything is dependent upon. Is not the whole world of experiences, whatever good, bad, ugly, or everything is dependent upon the I, the individual, the observer, because I projected myself as the subject. That is the first state of experience which I am projecting myself. I, the subject, is experiencing the object. There is an doership of experiencing. All those things falls one after the other. The moment we say that I as a subject. Is the I a subject at all? Is what is to be questioned. Now, I, the individual and the projection, is being seen by different philosophers in different ways. That is what what is going to happen from the 19 to 28 mantras, which we will now go through it. Pranadiviranantaistai bhavair vikalpyata. Maya yesha devas tasya devasya yaya sammohida swayam. Pranadivihi anantaihi. Like the prana and the millions of the things. Edai bhavai vikalpita. Esh iti etat esha. This differentiation, edai bhavai, is projections. Vikalpita esha. On that substratum, they are all being projected. Prana and all the other things. Tasya devasya maya yaya swayam sammohita. Now, here is a very important statement which need to be analyzed very clearly. Tasya devasya. The one who gets projected, for him there is a deva. For him there is somebody who did it on to him. To explain that, he is putting that I am deluded because of the projection done on me as an individual by that deva who created me. So this is the Jivan Kalpayade Purvam, how it is happening. Now, we are not in the state that we have gone transcended to that substratum. We are trying to analyze the substratum as a jiva or a individual which has been created. So I am saying that there is Maya by the substratum, which is having the substratum has a potency called Maya or a magic power, because of which I was projected and then I got deluded by my sense organs and my mind, body, intellect, etc., etc. This is how the first projection happened, is being assumed by me. From my point of view, or from each one of our point of view, we are assuming now that Maya is the Shakti of the Brahma or Turiya or Ishvara, because of which every creation is happened, and Prana, Ananta, Vedan, like many of those things which has happened, like Prana, etc. Here Prana is Hiranyagarbha, not the Prana of what we are talking about, the breath or Pranayama Prana. Here Prana stands for Hiranyagarbha, the total creator. So, he is referring here to the Upanishad mantra which says about the creation in the Taittiriya. So kamayataha bahusyam prajayeti. Let me become many. Tatmat atmana akasha sambhudaha. So the Hiranyagarbha then thinks that let me become many. And then from the he first created Akasha. Akasha Atmana Akasha Sambhudaha. From the Atma, Akasha came. Akasha Vayo Ragni Agne Ravaha. Like then the gradation of the creation is being explained. That is what here he is being referring here also. That prana, that Hiranyagarbha or Ishvara, who is creating the world of experiences through the, so akamayata, he desired, kalpayate purvam. Both are meaning the same. It is the kalpana of the Ishvara or the kalpana of the Hiranyagarbha, and then as an individual, I am referring back to my creation as the power of Maya of Ishvara, because of which I was created. Why I am saying this repeatedly is that keep it in mind. Gaudapada is going to put a nuclear bomb on this idea of ours that we are all created. in towards the subsequent of the Karika. Whether the creation has really happened or, Ajadigvada, or whether this has happened or not, we will know it later. But now we are all created, therefore we need an explanation. So we say it is the Maya of the Ishvara which we have been created. Then prana iti prana vido, bhutan iti tadvidaha, guna iti gunas vidaha, tatvan iti cha tadvidaha. Now from here there goes the list, unending list of different philosophers. Prana iti pranavidaha. It is the prana means the Hiranyagarbha and the related pranas of the at the gross level. Prana is Hiranyagarbha. At the microcosmic level, it is the Mahaprana and the Panchapranas, all those things. Bhutani iti Shabdiduha. The Bhutas, the creations, the Ajayaman, Bahuda Vichayate. There are many creations which are Bahuda Vichayate. There are many creations which are many objects which are being created. Guna iti Gunavidaha. Then there's Kapila's philosopher, the Trigunatmika. Maya is Trigunatmika, therefore the gunas are the reason why the creation is happening. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas and all those things are being activated. Tattvani iti Tattvavidaha. Then there are Tattva, Mahatattva, like that, different Tattvas which are being referred by different philosophers. So there Atma, Avidya, Shiva, in the Tattva, three Tattvas which are being referred to by some set of philosophers, Shaivas, basically. So they call it as Atma, Avidya and Shiva are the three Tattvas which are the created ones. Pada iti padavido Vishaya iti tadvidaha. Loka iti lokavito Deva iti cha tadvidaha. 21st Karika. Pada means padas means that different quarters. Padavidaha, those who believe in quarters. Even the first Agama Prakarana, it has mentioned as Chatushpad, Svoyamatma Chatushpad. So Pada iti Padavidaha. Vishaya iti Tadvidaha. Objects are being referred by the Vishayas means Indriya Vishayas. By the sensory inputs, what we take it as objects is being referred to as Vishayas. Loka iti Lokavita. Loka means again the Lokyate iti Lokaha. Objects being experienced. One is the objects, second one is the experiences of the object. Deva iti Tadvidaha. Iti Tadvidacha. The Devas, there are multitudes of 3 billion Devas which are being referred to in the Shastras. So each one is having a potency or a power to enlighten certain aspects in the nature. So they are all called Devas in the thing, whether it's Indra, Varuna, Agni, Avayu, etc. All these things are all kalpitas. They're all being projected by the people who have this memory of or who's learned it from their different sources of the teachings or different teachers, etc. and all this. Veda iti Veda vido yajna iti cha tadvidaha. Bhokte iti cha bhoktru vido bhojyam iti tadvidaha. Karika number 22. Veda iti Veda vida. Now what is the Veda iti Veda vida? There are schools of philosophers who think that what is told in the Agama Prakarana of the Veda is the full and final. There is nothing more to be studied. The Upasana or the Vedanta is not part of Vedas. Only the rituals and that is to be done. And they believe in that. That is what they think that the whole truth is. Yajnacha iti tadvidaha. Based on that, they also do the yajnas. Vidhi Nisheda, yajnas and all those activities based on the Vedas. Bhokta iti bhokta vidaha. Then there are people graduated from that Vedas thing saying that Our Vedas are all nothing but karma, based on karma. So every karma has got there's a reaction. So the bhokta, the fruit of the action will be there. Therefore, you are a enjoyer of the action of the fruits of the what is done by the yajna, and that is ordained by the Vedas. So Vedas, yajnas, and bhokta, bhojyam iti tadvidaha. Then there are people saying that the fruits of the action which are coming are the the truth of the whole action. So there is nothing called Ishvara. These are people within the Vedic period itself who do not accept Ishvara. All they say is that the Veda has given injunctions, do's and don'ts, and when we do the do's and don'ts as per the yajna vidhi and as per the ordained method in which we are doing, we are given the fruit of action, and the fruit of action, when it is satisfied, you get punya and papa. That is the be all and end all of life. So this cycle of going through again birth and death, ultimately your punya will increase to such an extent, then you will not have to worry anything about bad, because there won't be any papa karmas. You will be always in a state of happiness. That is what that certain type of philosophers who based on the agama or the Vedas thing. Now 23rd Karika says, Sushma iti Sushma vidaha, Stula iti cha tadvidaha, Murta iti Murta vido, Murta iti chadvidadvidaha. Now Sushma iti Sushma vidaha. There is a certain category of Nayayika and Vaisheshika those days. Even today's world, if you look at it, those who are in the scientific field, they are trying to find out the boson-Higgs or the quark, other finer aspects of anu or atom, beyond the atom. Those days, they had only the atom, paramanu, that is Nyayika and Vaisheshika people. They believe that everything can be reduced into paramanu level, that is the atom level, and when two atoms of the same material get together, you get a matter. At the paramanu level or at the atom level, they are not visible by the sensory organs, but when they join together, the matter is produced. So this is the Sushma Vidaha. Stula che Tadvidaha. Then they said that this, when the two paramanus join together, you get a gross object, whether it is you call it as a human being, an animal, or sun, moon, star. All of them are agglomerations or multitudes of paramanus in this. And Murti iti Murtavidaha. Now then from there they have brought it that the name and form of it. All those things are all based on the knowledge which they have accumulated. Amurta iti murta vidaha, amurta iti tadvidaha. There are people who believe that there is murti and amurti. Murta means which has got form, and there amurta vidam is that which do not have the formless, which are the formless one. These are all again, kalpayate purvam. This is the imaginatory way in which people are trying to philosophize the life and the reality of life. So there is no point in dealing and describing these things where it is not going to affect us, help us in any way to reach the reality, absolute reality. Kala iti kala vido, disha iti tadvidaha, vada iti vada vido, bhuvana iti tadvidaha. Now there are people who are saying that no, time is the beginning. The beginning, everything of the beginning started with the time. And then there came the space, disha. The next one is that. And the time and space, both of them happen simultaneously. Therefore, that Big Bang and etc. is what being referred to, but they don't use the word Big Bang here, but something similar to that. Vada iti vada vidaha. Then vada means it's a different methodology or the philosophies with which it is being explained by different people. Bhuvanani iti tadvidaha. Then Bhuvanas, there are loka, 14 planes of experiences. Bhuvana means here planes of experiences. Bhuloka, Swarloka, Bhuvar, Bhuvaswa, to Surgaloka and upward, which pressure keeps increasing, or you are going downwards, Alatala, Bhutala, Talatala, Patala, into the downward where the negative experiences or the pain or the suffering keeps increasing. So these are all the bhuvanas what is being referred here. So these are the people who believe in that, in the different multiple layers of experiences are there. Mana iti manovidaha, mano iti manavidaha, buddhir iti tadvidaha, chittamiti chittavidaho, dharma dharmau cha tadvidaha. Now this is another set of people who are philosophical in nature. They said everything is in the mind. Mind is the be all and end all. Everything is in the mind. Only mind is the reality. And then there are the other philosophers who say, argue with them and say that no, intellect is that only the intellect should cognize what the mind is experiencing. Then only it becomes an experience. Chittamiti, then there are other set of people who say, no, even the intellect cognizing it doesn't become a reality, only it becomes memory in the chitta, then it becomes a reality for for living. Only then you can recollect it and you continue with your life. You just experience and go. It will be like momentary experiences like the fly and getting caught in the fire, fireflies like that. Buddhi is a only intellectual argument. You have no, reference to that unless it is going into the memory in the chitta. And when it goes to the dharma in the chitta only and it becomes memory, you will be able to differentiate between what is dharma and adharma. Because from the past experience, we will know what is real, what is the right way, what is the wrong way, unless it goes in the memory and it is available for us to refer to back as to which is right, which is wrong. This is not going, the experiences are not real. Like the dream experiences are never dharma or dharma because they don't really remain there. The experiences of the dream can never be brought into, even though it is happening in the mind. Intellectually, we can refute it, therefore, it doesn't go into the memory and it doesn't help us to do the dharma analysis. Then in the 26th Karika, he says, पञ्चविंशक इत्येके षड्विंश इत्येचापरे एकत्रिंशक इत्यानन्तर इति चापरे. Now here he is talking about the Sankhya, Patanjali and the Shaivites. There are 25 tattvas as per the Sankhya philosophies, which is the different parts of the experiences of the world as per the Sankhya philosophy. Then adding to that, Ishvara is added, and then Patanjalas say that there are 26 tattvas. Aparecha Ekatrimshaka, that is that Shaivite of in the philosophy, they have added another 5 to that. And then they say that 26 plus 5, 31 is the number of tattvas, and that is the reality. There is nothing else other than that. These are the different type of philosophers which are being referred to here by Gaudavada. Lokan lokavita prahu atma iti tadvidaha. Three napumsakam linga paraparam apare. Lokan lokavitaha prahu. Loka, here again, the loka is referred to by the same thing which is being repeated here is the experiences. Ashrama iti tadvidaha. That they saying there are people who are, basically this loka is, this karika is dealing with, Agni loka, Varuna loka, Yama loka, not the experiential part of it. This is talking about the different lokas where the different, adhipatis or the rulers are present there. Agni Loka, Varuna Loka, Chandra Loka, Surya Loka, like that. And another set of people saying, no, ashrama dharma is the mukhya one, but brahmacharya, gahrastya, vanaprastha, sannyas are the part, is the requirement of the life. That is the reality. One who follows that, he will get, emancipation or realization. Then there is the Vaiyakaranas, or the linguistic people who have divided the world into the masculine, feminine, and neuter gender, and they say that everything depends upon the balance of these things. In the Linga, Vayaka, it's basically talking about the grammarians about it. Atha paraparam apare. Then there are some people who are saying that there is Brahma, which is both para and apara. So they don't accept one side, that para only. They're saying that Parabrahma and Aparabrahma are the two aspects of reality. So they have the duality in mind. This is coming to the dualistic thing, where the Jiva is separate and Ishvara is separate. Or Parabrahma is the Ishvara form, and that Aparabrahma is what is the Jiva and the creation. So this is the type of division which is being brought it by some set of people. And in the 28th Karika, Srishtiriti Srishti Vidaha, Laya Yadi Cha Tadvidaha, Srishtiriti Sitti Vidaha Sarve Cha Hedur Sarvada. Now this Karika needs a bit of explanation. Srishti Idi Srishti Vidaha. The truth is the creation is held by those who are in the Charvaka category. They say that the creation is real. It is once having created, the natural selection methodology which Darwin's process and exit is the reality, and the world will continue, and that is the reality. The world can never be destroyed or never be, thing. It will keep on progressing based on natural selection and all. Laya iti tadvidaha. Then in some group in the same category, they say that not only that natural selection will keep on progressing one side, there will be vanishing of categories of animals and the living beings and animals, minerals, or anything for that matter. There will be dissolution which may not be available for the future selection. So both creation one side and dissolution on another side. Sthiti is sthitividaha. Then that is a balancing act by some people who in some category say, no, it is not into the direction of dissolution, nor in the direction of natural selection and progression. It is a constant. There is neither increase nor decrease in the matter and energy in the world. It is always constant, and it will always remain the same. One side, if it is progressing, there shall be this is, you are looking only at one aspect of it, but if you look at the total thing, that the entire world or the entire creation is self-balanced, and it is always the constant. There is no way in which it can be said to be either increasing or decreasing. Then there is one more category, sarva sarvada ihatu. Always, sarvam, all those things, sarvada, always, in itself. This aspect is something which is being told by people who are very, very close to Advaitins. They look almost like Advaitins, but they have got a slight variation from the Advaitins. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. So they take this word as a statement for their explanation. So sarvam apnodi sarvashaha is the statement which is there in the Chandogya. So it having become all the things, it will be always there in all the things, and it is all in everything. Don't you think it is talking about the same thing as Advaita? But Gaudapada says even they are talking from projection. Their mental projection is that what they think is the reality is what they are talking about it. Even that is an ideation or a creation from memory, from the balance of memory which they have brought in together, and then they are trying to study the Vedas and tell that what Veda said is that this Sarvam Kalidam Brahma or Sarvam Apnoti Sarvashaha, all those things are talking about all the things are always in a state of balance and everything is in one reality. This is how he has now completed from the 20th Karika to the 28th Karika. All type of philosophies there were prevalent in everything. From the 29th onwards, he is now taking a negation of all of them. Yam bhavam darshaye dasya tam bhavam satu tasyati. Tam chaviti bhautsasau tadgraha samupaitatam. Yasya, for such a person or for whomsoever, yam bhavam darshayet, what aspect he is concentrating upon, either by the teacher or by the shastra or by the teachers, I mean those who are, claim to be knowing the truth. Tam bhavam sa pashyati. He sees only from that point of view. He is not taking any effort to inquire by himself. He is just blindly following what he has been told by the Vedas or the teacher or the Upanishad or anything without any effort on his side. Asau bhutva tam avati cha tadgraha tam samupaiti. So what does it say? That aspect which he has now accepted from the teacher or the teaching, he becomes a devotee to that, not taking any effort on his own part to transcend that teaching. There he remains as an upasaka for the teaching, and he achieves what has been taught, and he becomes a believer of that thought, rather than using it as a prop to cross over beyond all the teachings to his own reality. He gets stuck at the level of a ardent follower of a teaching. This is applicable. This is happening even in the case of Advaita. People will follow Advaita and become an ardent follower of Advaita, but without applying on to himself to find out the application of it and experimenting on his own reality to know who he is. It becomes mere words and explanation without conviction, and such people will talk like they know everything, but they have to really take a plunge beyond the teaching. Even the last teaching has to be abandoned. Then only he will feel that individuality is also a projection, that he is no more an individual. He is the part and parcel of Aham Brahmasmi attitude that knowledge will dawn upon only when he abandons that also. So this is what Gaudapada says on the 29th Karika. We will revisit this Karika again in the next, in the coming Friday, then subsequently followed by how Gaudapada is developing this thought into for fructification of that. How does this help us to and remove the entanglement which we have got into as an individual? So I stop it here. We will continue in the next Friday. ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। थैंक यू। धन्यवाद।